If we're being honest here, social media has completely changed the way women view attraction today. A single scroll through Instagram or TikTok can tell her more about you than an entire first date ever could. Your posts, your likes, your comments. Every little thing is quietly shaping how she feels about you. And here's the controversial truth. Women don't just look at your photos, they study your presence. They can instantly sense if you're a man chasing validation or a man who's already grounded in himself. See, attraction in today's world isn't only about what you say in person, it's about the energy you project online. Most men have no idea how their digital footprint either builds desire or kills it instantly. They either overshare and look desperate or stay invisible and look irrelevant. But the men who understand how to use social media with calm confidence stand out without trying. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly how platforms like Instagram and TikTok shape female attraction, and how you can make them work in your favor. 1. Attraction lives in perception, not just reality. One of the biggest mistakes men make today is believing women only care about who they really are. They think if they're a good guy, work hard, or treat her well, that's all that matters. But here's the harsh reality. On social media, attraction doesn't live in reality. It lives in perception. And perception is everything. The way you present yourself online tells her a story, whether you realize it or not. Let's break it down. A man might be disciplined, ambitious, and confident in real life, but if his Instagram looks like a random collection of blurry selfies, screenshots, or awkward memes, guess what? That's all she sees. Women don't dig deep to find the truth about you. They judge you in seconds, based on what's right in front of them. And in today's world, what's in front of them is your digital profile. Here's where it gets controversial. Women are not just looking for who you are, they're looking for signals of how others see you. If your posts show you as a man with purpose, presence, and a life that reflects discipline, she feels it. If your online presence screams boredom, insecurity, or neediness, she feels that too. Social media is the new subconscious filter for attraction, and most men fail the test without even realizing it. Now, this doesn't mean you have to fake a lifestyle, post expensive cars you don't own, or act like someone you're not. That backfires. Women are more perceptive than men think, and they can sniff out fakeness instantly. The secret isn't to fabricate, it's to curate. That means intentionally showing the sides of your life that communicate strength, calmness, and self-control. A picture of you at the gym, traveling, working on a passion project, or spending time with close friends sends a stronger message than 100 empty words in the DMs. Think about it this way. When a woman scrolls through your profile, she's not just looking at pictures, she's feeling your energy. She's asking herself, does this man live with purpose? Is he respected by others? Does his life reflect control or chaos? And the answers come from perception, not the hidden truth only you know about yourself. So the first principle is simple. Understand that in today's digital world, attraction isn't only about who you are in reality, it's about how you're perceived online. Own the perception, and you'll own the moment before you've even said a word. 2. The trap of overexposure. Most men on social media make the mistake of thinking more is better. More posts, more selfies, more updates, more attention seeking. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Overexposure kills attraction. Why? Because mystery is magnetic, and when you give away everything, there's nothing left for her to wonder about. Women are naturally curious creatures. They want to discover you piece by piece, not have your entire life dumped on their feed like a sales pitch. Think about the men who constantly flood their stories with random rants, low-quality gym mirror selfies, or endless reposts of motivational quotes. On the surface, they think they're showing confidence or hustle. In reality, it screams neediness. It shows they're desperate for validation, and women can sense that energy instantly. When you post too much, when you're always online, always visible, you're essentially telling her you have no real life happening off screen. Here's where stoicism comes in. A stoic man doesn't broadcast his every move. He doesn't need applause or validation for every workout, every meal, or every thought. He chooses what to share with intention, not desperation. And that's what makes him stand out. When a woman scrolls through his profile and sees that his posts are rare but powerful, she pays attention. She notices the weight behind them. She feels the calm confidence of a man who doesn't need to be everywhere all the time. And here's the controversial part. The less you reveal, the more she imagines. If you post every detail, she knows your schedule, your habits, your insecurities. But if you hold back, if you let silence and space speak for you, her mind fills in the blanks. And usually she imagines better than reality. That's the paradox. By showing less, you create more intrigue. Picture this. Two men. One posts 3 times a day, documenting every coffee cup and every mood swing. The other posts once every few weeks, but each post is sharp, intentional, and reflects discipline. Which one will she be drawn to? Always the second. Not because he's trying harder, but because he's trying less. His scarcity creates value. So here's the takeaway. Don't let social media turn you into a desperate performer. Use it as a tool, not a crutch. Let your posts be rare, intentional, and powerful. Overexposure makes you forgettable. Selective presence makes you unforgettable. 3. Validation is the silent killer. If there's one thing that silently destroys male attraction on social media, it's chasing validation. Most men don't even realize they're doing it. They drop thirsty comments under women's posts, fire off fire emojis or spam likes on every story as if consistency will buy them desire. But here's the harsh truth. Validation is not attractive. It's repulsive. It signals one thing: neediness. And nothing kills attraction faster than a man who needs her attention more than she needs his. Think about it. When you're constantly reacting to everything she does, what message are you sending? That your attention is cheap, that you'll give it to anyone, anytime, without her earning it. And when attention is cheap, it has no value. Women are wired to be drawn to what's scarce, what's earned, what's respected. If your likes, comments, and DMs are flying around like confetti, she won't feel special. She'll feel like just another number in your endless feed. 3. Validation is the silent killer. If there's one thing that silently destroys male attraction on social media, it's chasing validation. Most men don't even realize they're doing it. They drop thirsty comments under women's posts, fire off fire emojis, or spam likes on every story as if consistency will buy them desire. But here's the harsh truth. Validation is not attractive, it's repulsive. It signals one thing: neediness. And nothing kills attraction faster than a man who needs her attention more than she needs his. Think about it. When you're constantly reacting to everything she does, what message are you sending? That your attention is cheap, that you'll give it to anyone, anytime, without her earning it. And when attention is cheap, it has no value. Women are wired to be drawn to what's scarce, what's earned, what's respected. If your likes, comments, and DMs are flying around like confetti, she won't feel special. She'll feel like just another number in your endless feed. Here's where stoicism flips the game. A stoic man doesn't chase. He doesn't flood her notifications trying to prove he's interested. He understands that his presence alone has value, and he protects that value. When he does give attention, it means something. A single like, a thoughtful comment, or even silence carries more weight because it's rare. Women crave that. They crave a man whose validation feels earned, not handed out like free samples. And here's the controversial part. Women often test men online just to see how easily they'll give in. She'll post a revealing picture or a subtle thirst trap and watch who comes running. Most men take the bait immediately, proving they're predictable and easy. But the man who doesn't rush, who holds his ground and refuses to play the validation game, that's the one who stands out. That's the one who sparks curiosity. Imagine this. She posts a picture, and 100 men comment within minutes, showering her with praise. Then she notices the one man who doesn't. He saw it. He chose not to react. Suddenly, he's not just another follower. He's a mystery. She wonders, why didn't he say anything? Doesn't he find me attractive? Or is he simply above the game? That intrigue alone makes her think about him more than all the others combined. So remember this. Validation might feel like attention, but it's really weakness in disguise. The more you give freely, the less it's worth. Guard your attention like it's gold. Because when you finally give it, that's when she feels its true value. Here's where Stoicism flips the game. A Stoic man doesn't chase. He doesn't flood her notifications trying to prove he's interested. He understands that his presence alone has value, and he protects that value. When he does give attention, it means something. A single like, a thoughtful comment, or even silence carries more weight because it's rare. Women crave that. They crave a man whose validation feels earned, not handed out like free samples. And here's the controversial part. Women often test men online just to see how easily they'll give in. She'll post a revealing picture or a subtle thirst trap and watch who comes running. Most men take the bait immediately, proving they're predictable and easy. But the man who doesn't rush, who holds his ground and refuses to play the validation game, that's the one who stands out. That's the one who sparks curiosity. Imagine this. She posts a picture, and 100 men comment within minutes, showering her with praise. Then she notices the one man who doesn't. He saw it. He chose not to react. Suddenly, he's not just another follower. He's a mystery. She wonders, why didn't he say anything? Doesn't he find me attractive? Or is he simply above the game? That intrigue alone makes her think about him more than all the others combined. So remember this. Validation might feel like attention, but it's really weakness in disguise. The more you give freely, the less it's worth. Guard your attention like it's gold, because when you finally give it, that's when she feels its true value. 4. Lifestyle signals speak louder than words. Here's a reality most men ignore. Women don't just look at your face or your captions, they look at your lifestyle signals. Every post you share, every story you put up communicates something about how you live, how you think, and where you're going. And whether you like it or not, women use these signals to measure attraction. Because in her mind, your lifestyle is a reflection of your masculine energy. Think about it. A man who only posts late-night party clips, drunken selfies, or endless shots of video games communicates chaos, distraction, and lack of discipline. It doesn't matter if he's kind-hearted or ambitious in real life. Online, he looks like a man who has no direction. On the flip side, a man who posts about hitting the gym, working on his craft, traveling, or simply living with intention communicates strength, stability, and purpose. That's the kind of presence women feel drawn to without him ever saying a word. Here's where it gets powerful. Women aren't impressed by what you post. They're impressed by what it says about you. A picture of you training at the gym doesn't just show muscles. It signals discipline. A shot of you working on your business doesn't just show work. It signals ambition. A photo with close friends doesn't just show a hangout. It signals social proof. In her mind, each post answers an unspoken question. Is this man someone worth admiring? And here's the controversial truth. Women aren't looking for perfection. They're looking for direction. A man doesn't need to have it all figured out, But if his lifestyle online shows progress, growth, and self-control, she feels safer investing her attention. But if your posts scream laziness, immaturity, or stagnation, attraction dies before it even starts. Picture this. Two men both go to the gym. One posts sloppy mirror selfies every day, flexing for attention. The other posts occasionally, showing small glimpses of consistency, discipline, and results. The first one looks desperate. The second one looks admirable. The difference isn't in the action, it's in the signal. So here's the lesson. Your lifestyle signals matter more than your words. Women aren't decoding your captions. They're decoding your energy. Every post either elevates you or exposes you. Stop broadcasting chaos. Start signaling purpose. Because in today's digital world, your lifestyle isn't just lived. It's displayed. And what you display determines the attraction you create. 5. Mystery creates magnetism. If there's one thing social media has stolen from most men, it's their mystery. They've traded intrigue for constant exposure, giving women every detail of their lives without leaving anything to the imagination. But here's the truth most guys don't get. Mystery is one of the most powerful triggers of female attraction. The less she knows, the more she wonders. And the more she wonders, the more she invests her attention in you. Think about it. When you post every meal, every thought, every mood, you rob her of curiosity. She doesn't need to ask what you're doing because she already knows. And once a woman knows everything, she loses interest. Why? Because attraction thrives in uncertainty. It's not built on predictable routines. It's built on the thrill of discovery. Here's where stoicism becomes your weapon. A stoic man doesn't rush to explain himself. He doesn't feel the need to update the world about every step he takes. Instead, he lets silence and space work for him. When you're selective about what you post, you create gaps in her knowledge, and those gaps pull her in. She starts asking questions in her head. What's he doing right now? Who's he with? Why didn't he post about that? That curiosity alone makes you far more magnetic than the guy who's broadcasting his life 24/7. And here's the controversial part. Mystery doesn't mean hiding. It means revealing just enough to spark her imagination, then pulling back. It's the art of suggestion, not confession. A picture of you traveling without over-explaining the details creates intrigue. A story from the gym that shows discipline but not your entire routine keeps her guessing. It's not about being secretive. It's about being intentional. Picture this scenario. Two men just went on the same weekend trip. One floods his feed with 50 photos, geotags, captions, and play-by-plays. The other posts a single, well-chosen picture and leaves it at that. Guess who she thinks about more? The second man. Not because he did more, but because he said less. His silence creates space for her mind to wander, and women are wired to fill that space with fascination. So here's the lesson. Mystery isn't weakness, it's strength. In a world where everyone is oversharing, the man who withholds becomes rare, and in attraction, rarity is value. Give her something to wonder about, and you'll give her a reason to keep coming back. 6. Social proof is the new currency. Whether men like it or not, attraction today is heavily influenced by social proof. In simple terms, women are drawn to men who are validated, respected, or noticed by others. And on social media, that proof is on full display. Your interactions, your network, and even the way others engage with your content silently shape how she perceives you. Here's the harsh truth. When she sees that your posts have no engagement, no comments, and no sense of connection, it communicates isolation. It signals that you're invisible in the social hierarchy. But when she sees that people react to your presence, when friends comment naturally, when your pictures reflect that you actually live a life connected to others, she instantly feels differently about you. Not because of the numbers, but because of what the numbers represent. Now, here's where most men get it wrong. They think social proof means chasing clout, buying followers, or faking popularity. That's desperation, and women can spot it from a mile away. Real social proof doesn't come from showing off. It comes from the authenticity of the people around you. A man who posts a genuine picture with his friends, family, or teammates communicates far more attraction than the guy flexing staged photos alone. Why? Because she sees he's respected in his circle, and respect is magnetic. Here's the controversial part. Women don't just want to be with a man they like. They want to be with a man other people admire. Attraction is amplified by demand. When others value you, she subconsciously values you more. That's why social proof is the new currency of the digital age. And the man who ignores this ends up broke in the economy of attraction. Picture this. Two men post a similar picture at a restaurant. One gets no engagement, no conversation, just silence. The other gets comments from friends joking with him, tagging him, interacting naturally. The picture itself might be the same, but the frame is completely different. To her, the second man isn't just eating out. He's part of a bigger story, a man others want to be around. That difference changes everything. So here's the takeaway. Don't chase fake validation. Build real social proof. Strengthen your circle. Create meaningful connections. And let that energy show through naturally. Because in today's world, attraction isn't only about who you are. It's about how others respond to who you are. And when she sees you're respected by others, she'll crave that respect for herself. 7. Presence beats performance. At the end of the day, the biggest mistake men make on social media is believing they need to perform. They think they have to constantly impress women with flashy posts, staged photos, or carefully crafted captions. But here's the truth. Performance fades, presence lasts. Women aren't attracted to the man who tries the hardest. They're drawn to the man who simply is. Performance is rooted in insecurity. It says, "Look at me. I'm worthy. Please notice me." Presence, on the other hand, radiates calm authority. It doesn't beg for attention. It commands it. And that's the difference most men miss. A man posting selfies every day, flexing cars or watches, might look confident to himself, but to women, it screams emptiness. Meanwhile, the man who posts with restraint, who lets his energy carry through without over-explaining, comes across as someone in control. Here's where stoicism shines again. A stoic man doesn't need to perform because he knows his value doesn't depend on likes or followers. His presence is felt even in silence. His pictures, his words, and his digital footprint reflect a man grounded in himself, not scrambling for approval. And women feel that instantly. Here's the controversial truth. Women today are surrounded by performers. Men trying too hard to show they're funny, rich, or interesting. But presence is rare. Presence is the man who doesn't flinch under attention, who doesn't overshare, who doesn't play the validation game. Presence is steady, intentional, and undeniable. That's what cuts through the noise of social media and leaves an impression long after she scrolls past. Picture this. Two men walk into her feed. One is loud, desperate, posting 10 stories a day about everything he eats, buys, or feels. The other posts one simple picture, clean, confident, and intentional. No explanation, no performance, just a glimpse into a life lived with purpose. Guess which one she thinks about later? Always the second. Not because he did more, but because he did less with authority. So here's the final lesson. Stop performing. Start being. Let your presence carry weight, not your performance. Social media is full of noise, and the man who cuts through it with calm, grounded presence becomes unforgettable. Presence makes her feel curiosity, attraction, and respect, all at once. And in today's world, that's the ultimate power. At the end of the day, social media is no longer just entertainment. It's the silent stage where attraction is built or destroyed. Every post, every picture, every silence communicates who you are. Most men ruin it by chasing validation, oversharing, or performing for approval. But the rare man who uses discipline, mystery, social proof, and presence stands out without trying. Women feel his energy long before they meet him, and that's why he becomes unforgettable. So stop being another performer lost in the feed. Start being the man whose presence speaks louder than any post ever could.